What's up guys? Today we are going to be taking a look at how to set up the Behringer X32 with the X-Dante card. Let's get into it. There are a few different things that we are going to need to get everything up and running. First off, we are going to need the X-Dante card from Behringer, which will allow the console to send and receive audio over Dante. Second, we need a computer that is able to be used to run a piece of software called Dante Controller, which will allow us to route our audio signals to and from the console. This software is available for Mac and PC, and the link to this and all the software mentioned in this video will be in the description below. It is important to know that this program only works over Ethernet and cannot be used via Wi-Fi. The third thing we are going to need are two Ethernet cables and a network switch, which will allow us to connect our computer to the console. The use for the network switch is if you are going to be connecting more than one Dante compatible device to the network. Now that we have all the components, we can start by installing the X-Dante card. First, make sure that your console is powered off and unplugged. To do this, click the Setup button and then tab over to the Global page if you aren't already there by using the Page Select buttons. Then, using the first rotary knob, press Shut Down. You then should get a message saying that it is safe to switch off the console. Once flipping the switch on the rear, you can remove the power cable. Using a Phillips screwdriver, unscrew the two screws on the left and right of the X USB card and then pull it out. Then you can insert the X-Dante card by aligning it with the guide rails inside the slot. You may feel a little bit of tension, but you can just push it in, which will lock the card in place. Then go ahead and take your Phillips screwdriver and screw back in the screws, being sure not to strip them in the process. Now that the card is installed, we can go ahead and plug one of the Ethernet cables into the port labeled primary on the card and the other end into our network switch. Then with your second Ethernet cable, plug one end into the network switch and the other into your computer. Now that all of our hardware is set up, we can go ahead and power up the console by plugging back in the cable and flipping the switch on the rear. Once everything is booted up, head over to the Setup menu by clicking the Settings button and then use the Page Select buttons to tab over to the header labeled Card. It should now say X-Dante and have a picture of the card to show that it is installed. From here, we're going to jump over to the Routing tab where we are going to set the inputs of our console to be from the Dante card. The X32 only allows for patching channels in blocks of 8, so the least amount of channels you can have coming from the card is 8. I am going to be assigning all my inputs to be coming from the card. Using the rotary knob under the titles inputs 1 through 8, scroll down until you see card 1 through 8, and then press the knob in to select it. This means that now channels 1 through 8 will now be coming from the Dante card instead of the physical XLR connections on the rear. Repeat this process for the rest of the inputs you would like coming from the card. Once you finish setting your inputs, you should now see a C under the channel name on the scribble strip to indicate that they are now coming from the card. The final step is routing the audio from your Dante devices to the X32, and this is where Dante Controller comes into play. Once you have downloaded and installed Dante Controller, you can go ahead and fire it up. Once it opens, your devices should automatically be discovered. If not, you may have to go into your network settings and make sure that the console and your computer are set to the same subnet and IP range. Your devices will appear along the receiving and transmitting tabs. To make subscriptions, open the channels for the transmitting and receiving devices you would wish to connect. So in my case, I will be routing the audio from my computer using Dante Virtual Sound Card to the X32. Then click at the intersection of the channels you would wish to connect. So for me, channel 1 for my computer is going to be going to channel 1 of the X32 and so forth. When the green check mark appears, a subscription is active. Now your audio will be coming from the Dante devices. And that's it. You can now use the features of the X-Dante card to expand your experience with the X32. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will try to answer them, or head over to the forums on Behringer's website.